Welcome to our Bealtaine Living Earth Festival for 2020. My name is Owen Gill and I'm with CalMast, the STEM outreach centre from Waterford Institute of Technology. And the team at CalMast has been working hard over the last few weeks to keep this festival on the road. And we're working with loads of partners in the southeast and further afield, and we're grateful for the support of Science Foundation Ireland and Waterford Council for this. Now, the Bealtaine Festival has been running for 16 years, and it's all about supporting the biodiversity and natural heritage of the southeast region. Now, having run for 15 years, we were very keen that we would keep it going this year, and therefore we've moved online. Now, as I say, this is new for us, and hopefully everything will go smoothly for us. So our plan is to meet here every day at 5 o'clock, and we hope to see you all back and bring your friends. Normally we would be meeting in at a scenic site or at one of our partners' wonderful visitor centres, and we'd go on a guided tour and we would have an expert show us the biodiversity and natural heritage available there. So this week is going to be a little different. We're going to have a little discussion, an introduction, and we're going to go on a tour, a virtual visit together to one of our partner centres, and then we'll have a panel discussion afterwards. So today we're just going to focus on, we're going to look back on last year's festival, and we're going to see what are the sort of things that we could be out and about seeing. Of course we can't, most of us can't get there at the moment, but one thing we've learned through the COVID pandemic lockdown is the importance of nature. On our daily walks, I think we've probably been going the same route again and again and noticing maybe for the first time the changes of the seasons. The lockdown started at the early days of spring, and we've had the daffodils, the bluebells, the primroses, and now we're into the hawthorn blossoming, and we've seen the birds become more active, and we've seen a lot more insects start arriving. So that's the wonderful tapestry of life that we're celebrating and exploring in this festival. So we're going to move on and we're going to look back on last year's festival and the sort of things that we did, and then we're going to have a discussion about that and further discussion about what's coming up ahead for us.
The Bealtaine Living Earth Festival celebrates biodiversity and also the rich natural heritage that we have here in the southeast of Ireland. The festival itself was founded in 2005. It was founded by CalMast. CalMast is the Science, Technology, Engineering and Arts Engagement Centre at Waterford IT. And by now the festival has grown to actually include more than 40 partner organisations. Schools, visitor centres, NGOs, public bodies, and also individuals, and they're all working together towards the same goal, all concerned with nature and the natural heritage that we have here in the southeast. The festival includes a wide variety of events. There's events for school pupils, for families, for adults, literally for everyone. What we want to do is we want to show people what they have right here at the doorstep. They have a rich natural heritage, they have loads of things to do outdoors, and we just want to bring the joy of nature back, but also show everyone that we need nature.
We need huge volumes or huge amounts of electricity, which is still predominantly coal, peat and oil based at the moment, so we'd really have a problem.
We'd like to see some research into grants to encourage natural resources in homes.
We did a wonderful dusk walk all around the gardens and the woodlands here. I mean, this is an amazing place. And it was about getting people to stop and listen. At this time of the evening, birds are singing, and we had song thrushes and blackcaps and chiffchaffs and robins, and we've had swallows and house martins, and of course we had a great sort of woodpecker drumming.
Nature is something that actually concerns us all, and I think there's an increasing appreciation of nature and the importance of nature for our mental health, for our spirits, for our well-being. This is one of those things that we want to get across with the festival, that there are the choice of nature, but also the need of nature. And this is exactly why the Bealtaine Living Earth Festival celebrates all those different components of nature. This is why we want to celebrate biodiversity and the natural heritage, but we also want to showcase the connection, the relationship between sustainability, biodiversity, and the nature and the environment all around us.
You will get people that have been here, many a time. They will know what an arboretum is, and then you'll get the other end of the spectrum where people won't even know what an arboretum is. And the best way I like to describe it is that it's like a zoo, except it's a zoo for trees. So it's just to create awareness about threatened trees in the world, and that we have a lot of them here growing in New Ross.
It is important that we all realise the huge value of the natural resources all around us, and that's not just locally but also globally. Since 2005, when the festival was run for the first time, it has grown to be one of the biggest celebrations of biodiversity in Ireland. More than 2,000 people actually participated in 2019, and there were more than 85 events. They were taking place in counties Waterford, in Wexford, in Tipperary, in Kilkenny and in Carlow, so all over the southeast. The festival takes place every year in May, and every year there are more and more partner organisations and individuals taking place. They all offer free entry to places where you otherwise would have to pay entry for.
This garden was constructed between 2014 and 2015 to rejuvenate a piece of land in the centre of the town. Biodiversity and national heritage benefits everyone. So however little we are participating, this is a just cause which we all believe in. Nature looks after us, and it's important for us to look after it.
They offer free guided walks with experts, talks, lectures, but also activities, hands-on activities, workshops inside and in the house, outdoors, on beaches, in the woodlands, in gardens. It also shows you activities that you can easily replicate at home. So you don't need to have a garden. You can do loads of kind of nature and science experiments at home. The Celtic Festival of Bealtaine was to celebrate the beginning of summer, when growth started and when the earth again started to provide for us. This was the original intention of that, and we want to take this up again, showcasing the natural heritage and show what our living earth can provide for us. Since the beginning, it has always included 22nd of May. 22nd of May is a very special date. It is the United Nations International Day for Biological Diversity. More recently, the festival also started including International Bee Day or World Bee Day on 20th of May. And this is to show what bees, or pollinators in general, butterflies, other kind of insects, what they actually contribute to our nature and how important they are. Because without bees, without pollinators, we would have huge trouble in terms of food, in terms of biodiversity and loads of other things. Also, for the first time in 2019, the festival includes Fascination of Plants Day, which is celebrated all over Ireland and several other countries.
Hello and welcome back. So that was a flavour of last year's Bealtaine Festival, and I'm going to be joined in a minute by our panel for tonight. And just before that, I should say that we want you to send in your questions, your queries, your comments to us. You can send them by Twitter, Facebook, email, Instagram, and we'll be putting those links on the website for you. So this is your festival. We're doing it for you, and we want your involvement, and we want your suggestions about how we can make it better, but also all your comments and queries about the natural world. If you have signed up or registered on our website, you will be in for a chance to win a pass to an OPW site, and so encourage your friends to register also. We'll also be having prizes every day for different activities, and we'll let you know as we go on. We're not telling you everything today because we want to keep you coming back for more every day. So we're going now to our panel. I think we should have them here. And joining me now is Dr. Sheila Donegan and Dr. Cordula Weiss from CalMast. And immediately I'm going to drop the doctor. And I'm going to ask you both in turn, looking back on the video there from last year, what was your highlights for Bealtaine 2020? So Sheila, what did you enjoy most?
Well, you know, seeing the video, I find it really hard to actually pick a favourite. There's just so many wonderful things to see, and I think it's when you see it, you see the glorious birds and trees and flowers that we have on offer. But for me, the highlight was the bird walk, the dusk walk in JFK Arboretum. And I'm delighted to say that we're going to be heading back to JFK Arboretum for a wellness walk on Thursday, the 21st of May. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay, and Cordula, last year, was there a highlight?
Well, I have to say I totally agree with Sheila. I actually find it really hard to say which one was my absolute highlight. There was quite a few. Now that Sheila just mentioned the dusk walk, we also had one in the Curragh Estates, and that's actually where we had a woodpecker. Woodpeckers are quite rare in Ireland. There's only a couple of pairs. So we were extremely lucky that day. But I think one of my absolute highlights also was the walk in the Lafcadio Hearn Gardens. There was a brief part there where Keith was talking in the video about biodiversity, about the gardens. And Keith will actually be back on the panel here on Monday. We will have a virtual walk through the 4 seasons of the Lafcadio Hearn Gardens. And afterwards, there's a panel discussion here on the live stream with Keith from the Lafcadio Hearn Gardens. They're also, I have to say, the gardens are also opening up again on Monday. They're lucky enough, but since we still have our 5-kilometer radius, this is your chance to come in and get a taster of what you're missing and what we hopefully be able to go and see again soon.
Yeah, so Sheila, that was last year. What are we going to be able to do this year? Where are we going to be able to visit?
Well, we've an awful lot of things planned. When we started planning the festival, we certainly didn't think we'd be in this situation. But we're delighted that with our partners, we're able to bring people from all around the world, because I know there's lots of people from all around the world that have signed up to see and to be at the festival. So on tomorrow, we're going to be looking at biodiversity and why it's so important to protect it and preserve it. And on Monday, we're going to be going to the Lafcadio Hearn Gardens in Tramore. It's a fantastic, beautiful Japanese garden. And we're going to have a guided tour through the 4 seasons in the gardens with their head guide. On Tuesday, then we're going to be heading to Mount Congreve Estate, and we're going to be listening to the birds and seeing what's all to see there. Wednesday is World Bee Day, at which we're going to be celebrating with all things bees. On Thursday, we're going on a wellness walk in the JFK Arboretum with Mary O'Neill Maloney, a horticulturist. So that sounds really exciting. Then on Friday, we're celebrating the UN Day for Biological Diversity. And Marie Power, who is a sea gardener, she's going to be talking to us about the rocky shore and what we can expect to see and the living creatures that we can expect to see out there. Then next Saturday, this day week, we'll have a guided tour of the Copper Coast Geopark. And then on Sunday, we're back in Mancongreve again with another beautiful walk, a longer walk with a different aspect on next Sunday. So there's an awful lot on offer.
Okay, so that's that's an exciting schedule, and there's plenty to do. We hope everyone will meet us back here at 5 p.m. every day, and we'll go together on a little journey and explore these places. And as you say, it is an irony that when we are restricted to 5 kilometers and most of us can't visit these wonderful places, the irony is that we have people from all over the world joining us on our Bealtaine TV. I know there's people from the US, from Canada, Scotland, Germany, Spain, and I think even Venezuela, as well as people all over Ireland, north and south, which is really great. So we'll be able to get a flavour of different places in the southeast of Ireland that you may visit in the future. And even if you don't visit, you'll learn about the biodiversity there and the importance of biodiversity. So in order to celebrate biodiversity in a more full way, and knowing that just meeting every day like this, it doesn't make up a full festival. Cordula, we have a lot of other things for people to do, don't we?
There's loads actually. So we have activities on the website. We have quizzes on Instagram.
Okay, Cordula, I think we're having problems with your connection.
That people own 5 kilometers around their house.
Oh, you're back.
Okay. Can you hear me again?
Yes.
Everyone,
yeah.
I hope so. So I'm just going to repeat again what I was saying. We have loads of activities on. They are all up on the website. Actually, I have to correct myself, they're not all up, but they are coming up every day. So all the activities that we have, they are all in some way connected to the theme of the day. So for example, today it's more general about biodiversity. We have an activity up where you can build your own greenhouse. What you do there is you basically upcycle a bottle, and I have one here. This is what it looks like. That's my little greenhouse that I made this morning. Also, quite curious, actually, today is lemon tree day. So I planted a little lemon seed in there. And hopefully in a couple of weeks, months, years, I might have a little lemon tree. But what we can also do with our bottles, for example, is we can build a snail-proof barrier. That's something that was done by the Tipperary Libraries. They're one of our partners in this festival. And they upcycled a plastic bottle into a snail-proof barrier. So once you take your plants out of your greenhouse, bring them in the garden, you can use a second plastic bottle and make this protection for them. Another partner, the National Park and Wildlife Service, they have brought up a bog hunt. So you can go in the garden and explore different guide actually up on the website. And you can hunt for bogs, but make sure that you don't, make sure that you don't kill them or do any damage or whatever, and release them back into nature afterwards.
Okay, well, that's good advice. We're going to...
so this is an example of things that we have on today.
Okay, there's a delay there in the sound, I'm afraid. We're reliant on technology, and that's not always it's not always easy, especially for our first time. Sheila, Cordula mentioned there about wellness, and I think that the coming week the country is going to also focus on wellness. And how is nature and the outdoors related to wellness, do you think?
Well, I think we all feel when you go out for a walk, if you go out into the woods, go for a walk by the sea, you actually feel better. And I think now more than ever, when in this pandemic, you can actually hear and see wildlife much more than we were doing before. Now we don't have so many planes overhead. We don't, there's not so much traffic on the roads. It gives us a chance to actually hear things that we probably took a little bit for granted before, or even with the noise all around us, we actually weren't hearing it. Going out to nature it's quiet. It gives us a bit of time to think and get a bit of headspace, and feel that you're connecting with nature, and really feeling what's all around us. And I think every time you do go for a walk and you see wildlife and you experience that, you do feel an awful lot better, and you come back a bit refreshed and a bit better really in your head.
Okay, well, we have a message from a group in Louth who are watching it on a Zoom meeting. So we're having a Zoom meeting that's been watched on another Zoom meeting. And if somebody watched that on another Zoom meeting, we could have exponential growth. So they are asking, why is it important to protect and cherish biodiversity? I suspect that might be a bit of a leading question, because I think by and large we're going to be preaching to the choir here. But why, Cordula, do we need to protect biodiversity? Why should we be interested?
That is a really good question. And I think this is one of those questions that we want to answer, or try to answer to a part, at least in this festival. There's so many aspects of biodiversity that I think 1 week is just not enough. And I think it is really important that in this 1 week, we get the message out that biodiversity is important and that we need to care for it. Biodiversity is basically the many variations of living things that we have all around us. And I think we all agree that we need every little living thing all around us, even if it's a bug or an insect. Think about pollinators. We need them, otherwise we wouldn't have any food. We need trees. They give us the wood for shelter. We need all kinds of flowers because they sustain the bees and other insects. So it's all interconnected. And I think this is the most important message about biodiversity. If just one thing is out of place, the whole construct of biodiversity, the whole life as we know it, might just shift and be not anymore what it was before. And this is actually a question we're going to answer tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to focus on what is biodiversity and why it's so important, and what can we actually do to protect biodiversity. So I think my advice, of course, for all the listeners right now is to tune back in tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We will be back with the Biodata Center. They'll give us some information about biodiversity. And on the panel, we will have Dr. Nick McCarthy from WIT and Ben Dolan from Calmast, who will tell us a bit more.
Yes, and I think the important message in the past, I mean, preservation of wildlife is something that has gone on for decades or centuries. But I think in the last few decades, we've been more aware of the importance to protect all biodiversity and keep it in balance. It's not just about saving one species we need to save. We don't know, for instance, if we lose a species, what knock-on effect that will be. We don't know if we lose a habitat, what are the knock-on effects. And some of those effects are really serious for, say, our food supply, such as pollination, which we'll be focusing on this week. But also, you know, there's that richness of life. You know, do we really want to be saying that under our stewardship that we're losing species all the time? Have we really that right to decide what species come and go? I don't think we do, and I think most people would see that all life on the planet should be considered important, and we're custodians to it. And I think with the COVID pandemic, I think we're realizing that we're not above and beyond nature, and it's really easy in a modern technological world, in built-up cities, to feel that you're above and beyond nature. I think the COVID pandemic has reminded us that we are part of nature, and that a tiny little virus can affect us and our way of life so radically. And it throws up a lot of other questions about how we live in close proximity to different species and how we interact with them as well. Other things that are really important, of course, are big questions, even in the time of a pandemic, and everyone is rightly focused on managing that. I think that climate change is still here, it's still important, and we need not forget that. And in fact, I suppose the climate is getting a little bit of a break at the moment with the grounding of planes and the less traffic on the roads and less consumption in general. But that's something else we need to keep remembering, that problem and challenge for us and for our future generations has not gone away. So these are things that we'll be coming back to again throughout the week. Of course, where a focal point is to meet up here every day. And as I say, please send in your comments and suggestions. We will have various experts on during the week who'll be able to answer various questions from you. Send us in pictures as well. On Twitter, we're going to have a competition for tweeting signs of summer. Everyone out and about in the fresh air should be able to snap little pictures on the phone and tweet them and share them by other social media. So we'll be able to show some of those online in the evenings. And don't forget as well the activities, and we're going to have wonderful guides that are reproduced from people like the county councils, like the National Parks and Wildlife, and other partners. And we'll make those available through our website. And they will give you wonderful resources to be able to explore nature on your doorstep, and as well to see, remind you what you're missing further afield. And hopefully, as the restrictions are loosened over the summer, you will get an opportunity to get out and about and visit some of the wonderful places that we're going to visit virtually here. And also, you'll visit other places and other places in the world, and you should be able to look at these with your biodiversity eyes open and further your awareness and enjoyment of your time outdoors, but also remind us about responsible stewardship of the planet. So join us again tomorrow at 5. We're going to be live at 5 every day, to coin a phrase, and send in your comments through email, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever way you can. Send a pigeon if you want, and we'll get to those and we'll share those as well. So remember, it's a festival, it's a gathering of people, so we would like you to all join with us and interact with us in that. So in the meantime, until tomorrow night, stay safe, stay at home if you can, and good luck to you all, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Cordula, and we'll be back tomorrow evening.